He says this, along with some easy way to haul water, should be a recommended water equipment list. I've even done a straining of water I gathered via ice chunks with an axe as stuff could have been floating when it froze. And I'm glad he shared this information. A lot of people that talk to us about Berkeys, they go, I've gotten this question quite a few times lately in the last month or two. What am I going to do, like with rainwater that comes off my roof? Is it contaminated? Is it, how do you say it? What about the shingles? What about the things that are coming off of the roof? And, I would just say, in general, I think he touched up on it perfectly. A lot of people, a lot of people want to know how to get sediments, rocks, algae, things you can see with your eyes. Sometimes things you can't see. And that's always a good pre-filter, is like a coffee filter or even a T-shirt. And to remove these things, because putting them inside your filter, dumping in water with algae or with these sediments or rocks obviously clogs any filter. No filter is immune from these type of things. So that was a perfect that was a perfect example of something like that. One of those cheap, having those on hand in your water preps is those just in case. And actually, I would even recommend taking it now. If you go to the mountains, take some of those with you. Put the water through the coffee strainer in a river or stream, or a lake, and then put it into the Sport Berkey or Go Berkey kit or your bigger Berkey system, and doing those kind of preps and just seeing how it works, see what it removes, and you'll probably see that the coffee filter removes a lot of stuff as a pre, and then your Berkey filter will at least last a little bit longer before it needs to be cleaned. Now, I got a question on the chat room, and I wanted to touch on that. They asked, this question was, it says kind of a different question from a caller regarding using Berkeys to help eliminate the scent problem from toxic waste like urine. Do you want to handle that one tonight? Well, we could talk about urine, and in general, just to touch upon that question, I do not have any news about urine, like water that has urine. Like if you take, whether it be your own personal, and I don't mean to sound gross, but anyone else's, I don't really recommend passing it through a Berkey water filter. Obviously, there's a little bit in there. It's contaminated a little bit. You might want to put it through, but obviously if you're taking it from a cup, I would probably just go to another source of water. I wouldn't use urine. I don't, it's kind of like if there's a dead body upstream and there's probably, some blood or something like that in the water or something, I'd probably try to go upstream. Even if it's half a mile, go upstream. And so, urine, I probably wouldn't recommend putting it through it. People have, recommended it. You might want to try it. You're more than welcome to try it yourself on a Berkey water filter system. I couldn't recommend it either way. And I also have another person asked the question, Soapy Sue, sorry. I live in an old house about 150 years with a shallow well in the cellar. Would this be a safe water supply? Obviously, I would say absolutely, but I would say that you should probably have your well water tested to see what's in it. Have it tested beforehand. You can obviously take it, put in a system if you don't have one already, or take the, use a system, use the pumps, or however you're going to get the water out. So get the water out and pass it through the Berkey, or have your local municipality or some, a company, I do not know any right now, probably in your area. Maybe there's somebody that might be able to help your municipality, the people that serve you your other source of water through the pipes. You might want to ask them, well, here's a sample and see what's in it and see what exactly is in it before you start to filter it or drink it. It may have high iron in it. It may just be contaminated. It may have arsenic. It may, there's a whole bunch of contaminants that may be in there. You could obviously try to put it in your Berkey, but I would get it tested first. There are more people than I can count that call me and ask me about water from a well. and they're using wells. And I'm glad they're using wells, because then they don't have to rely necessarily on the city water to provide all their water, so they have that preparation done. So I hope I've touched up on that question also, Susie Q. But yeah, I don't see any reason why you can't use your well water, but I would have it tested, or if it's coming out looking pretty nasty, I'd probably filter it, and then when you put it through the Berkey, I'd probably find out, be real careful with it before you start drinking it, just to make sure that it is removing the contaminants in the water. So I did want to get back to, this gentleman, Charles, on Facebook. He wanted me to have a quick reminder that once you get the water out of your big container, a barrel, a jug, that you will want to have some way to easily dispense it. It would be a real pain to have to either try to pour a several-gallon jug every time you want a glass of water. Probably be even worse to have it fire up the hand pump if you have your waste stored in barrels. And I totally agree with him. Usually I would say try to get it into the Berkey to filter it. Once you take it from there, filter it in the Berkey. The Berkey's got a little spigot. You can open the spigot up, and drink it on demand. And that makes it really, really easy. So he had that great point about water. He also asked the questions the one that I get from time to time is, what substances or organisms can make it through a properly maintained black Berkey filter that would worry a person in survival situation? From offhand, I'm thinking of a couple things. Obviously, like a nuclear fallout or something, and there was, nuclear waste. I would probably try to go somewhere else and not filter it through the Berkey. If you're using pool water, that's another one I tell people. Obviously, you're using your pool. He's putting acids and other things. A pool guy or gal is putting those things in there. You might want to personally know what he's putting in, and know that that it might not be contaminant. It might not be it might be a substance more, and it might not kill you, but it might over time not be good for you in drinking it, large amounts. Things like that. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. Usually it removes mostly everything else. It even does, the black Berkeys do viruses, so you can take that out. If I do think of anything else, I will do my best to bring it up on the next show. I like transparency. I mean, I like the fact, I like the practicality and everything of the Berkeys, but no filter system filters out everything of everything. I know that when I get calls from time to time about systems that people get sold in their houses, like reverse osmosis, the main thing I hear a lot of times is that it takes out everything of everything. And I go, well, I know it takes out the minerals, which are beneficial, but there's no way it takes out everything of everything. I don't know anything that takes out everything of everything. Distilled water, takes out the minerals, and there's a lot of things about distilled water that I've heard good and bad, but no practical filter system will remove everything of everything. There might still be a if you just dip it in, there might just be some cautionary things that it may not take out. You never know, no matter how small the micron size is. There's no claims that can be made to say 100% of everything. So he also says, examples of a survival situation might be like an earthquake scenario or a wide-spreading flood like Katrina, or just hurricanes in general. He said, while fluoride looking, we're going to do a show on fluoride soon. I want to have a guest on. If I don't, I'm just going to have a show about fluoride. But, things like chlorine won't be any good for things like, I guess it says, while fluoride looking for the show, or chlorine might not be good for you, generally they aren't an immediate threat as far as I know. And I think that's a really, really good point. It's always good to have possibly a little bit of chlorine on hand just to make sure. And so that, I appreciate it, Charles. I wanted to touch up on those just before we go. We have about 3 or 4 minutes left in the show. I just want to welcome all the new people that came to the show. I hope this was beneficial. I'm not sure what I'm going to do on my next show next week, but I will put my brain, put things together for next week. Probably touch up on some other products on the site, some Berkey products. Hopefully I'll touch up on our seed. We do offer survival, or I would call them, they're called emergency seed banks. 23 different varieties of seeds, 37,000 seeds, a practical seed bank for $134 on our site. And it really is something you should have. I have mine in my freezer right now getting ready for next season. And we're going to plant some of the seeds. They're non-GMO, non-hybrid, heirloom seeds, from beans to watermelon to jalapenos. I'm not reading off the screen right now, so those are just a few things that are in it. You're more than welcome to look on the site, and so that's exciting. Hopefully touch up on that. And some of the other products we have, if you have questions about the Berkeys, you can reach me on Facebook again, or my 877-886-3653 number, or our website, goberkey.com. No matter what you're looking for, if you're looking to buy now, to purchase a Berkey system now to fit your needs, or you're looking to purchase it in a month, I have people that call and say, hey, I'm going to buy it by the end of the year. No problem. I will be happy to answer your questions. Those things are open there. So just to end off the show, I think we have about a minute and a half, 2 minutes left. Maybe a frequently asked question, or just something that goes through a lot of people's minds when in relation to having water storage and everything is, let me think. I'll have a question about the Berkeys. A lot of questions that we get is about fluoride. I'll touch up on fluoride just here at the end. The Berkeys do have a fluoride filter that does reduce the amount of fluoride. It doesn't remove 100% of it. It goes up to 95. Its optimum level is like 99.75 of fluoride. And so we do offer a fluoride filter that attaches to the black Berkey elements that you have. It's called a PF2 filter, fluoride filter, and they're just a few dollars anyway at $44.99. You can get them for your set now. And they just attach and screw on, and the water travels through the black Berkey elements into the PF2s, and you're ready to drink. And in the process of being able to drink that water, you know that you're getting less fluoride. And so I know this isn't a fluoride show, but I just wanted to touch up on maybe another product that we offer to help people remove things like fluoride from their water. So this is the end of the show. I just want to say thank you again to all who listen. I hope this was a very, very good show. Any comments, feel free to get back to me. This is the Berkey Guy. My name is Jeff Gleason. You can reach me anytime, and I hope everyone has a wonderful night. You can reach me at my website at goberkey.com. That's www.goberkey.com. Good night to everyone. Bye-bye.